I just want to go over the test that we had last Friday because there was a number of mistakes in it that were fundamental. I sort of threw you I'll use a New Zealand term here, a wobbly. I think it's a ball from softball. Or, in other words, let me go back to the American version. I threw you a bit of a curved ball, let's put it that way. Because instead of doing Greek to English, I thought we'd try English to Greek. Fortunately, we don't have to do that when it comes to the New Testament, but it's a good indication of what we've grasped in terms of the grammar and the paradigms, of course, the vocabulary, as was the case here, because I gave you several phrases and basically really just seeing whether you could work out the way to put adjectives with nouns and then put the adjectives in either the attributive position or in the predicative position. So the first one, a beautiful throne, it's indefinite, and then the second declension masculine noun thronos, would be ho thronos. Here it's indefinite, so it would be just thronos. And then you have an adjective kalos, beautiful, which would follow then the noun as the second declension adjectives. I think the paradigm we learned was agathos, agathea, agathon. So therefore it would be simply, it would agree in number, and it would agree in gender, and it would agree in case. So in other words then, kalos, thronos. That one's fairly straightforward. Second one is a bit more difficult. A good heart. Again, you could use, well, here, cardia is heart, which has an ending, a stem ending that is in a vowel or a row. Here is in a vowel. So therefore, it's the first declension feminine noun that ends in alpha, which, so therefore, as indefinite, there'd be no article to it, so it wouldn't be hey cardia. It would simply be cardia and then agathos that would go with it, because that's the second declension noun we learned as a paradigm. Agathos, agathea, agathon. So now, as an adjective, then agathos does not end in its stem in a vowel or row, so it would follow the pattern then that we learned of it. Actually, we learned that with, don't want to complicate it, we learned that with the first declension feminine nouns that end in other than a vowel or row, and here it follows it in the sense that what? Well, it's agathea, agathos, agathon, agathos, agathea, agathon. It would not be agathea or agatha, because it doesn't end in a vowel or row, the agathos. Agathos aeon would be true to itself in the sense of number and gender and case according to its own pattern. So the answer to that then would be agathea cardia. And then the third one, the sins of the unbelievers. Sins is hamartia, so it's definite, so it would be hi hamartii what? Hamartii. Of the unbelievers. Now, I think by now you'll have picked up very quickly that most all the genitive plurals are the same. So it would be tone, unbelievers, apistone. Hamartii tone apistone. And then the last one, which is a bit more complicated, because here instead of I've really put an adjective in the predicative position, and at the same time in the attributive position. So the enemy is masculine, second declension noun, ekthros, and the adjective, eschatos, eschatology and so forth, then that would go like agathos, agathea, agathon. So ekthos is masculine, so therefore eschatos would then agree with the number and gender and case with its noun that it modifies. So it's what? It's the last enemy, so it would either be ho eschatos ekthros or ho eschatos ho ekthros. And then with the verb to be, estin, third person, indicative, active, singular. And then thanatos would be then the what's predicated about the subject. So it'd be put in the predicate position, which would then be without the article. And that would be, likewise, would agree though in number and gender and case, so it would be thanatos. So eschatos ekthros, estin, thanatos, or you could, as has been pointed out for emphasis, you could put the predicate in the front position, thanatos, ha eskos, or eskatos, ekthros, in respect to taking out the verb to be, or you could have the verb in there, or you could have thanatos, ha eskatos, ha ekthros. There's different ways for doing that when you have the attributive position, as you know, but the main thing with the attributive position is that the adjective must have the article in front of it. But when you see the article in front of it, or if you don't see the article in front of it, then you're looking at the predicative position. Something is asserted about the subject. Then you find out the subject, and if the verb to be is in there, obviously then it's going to be put in a position where it's going to be in a predicate position. So what can I say about that other than it's fairly straightforward if you remember the paradigms in respect to first and second declension masculine and feminine, and the fact that the second declension adjectives follow a similar pattern in whether they're a consonant other than say a row, or else they end in a stem and as a vowel or row. And the only other thing then is to look and notice the difference between the attributive position of adjectives and the predicative position of adjectives. And of course the predicative position in particular is very, very common in the New Testament.